Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Mike, and citizens of the earth.
How are you doing?
I'm well. Is that better? Us being closer?
Yeah, I
I
like
like
that.
to get into people's faces and tell them
I
good
like that.
morning. It's the morning laugh. Good morning, everyone.
So I was talking to Josh Novi this week about some comedy work that we have coming up, and
Comedian Josh Novi. Yeah.
comedian Josh Novi, and the fat vet, if you might be known as. I don't know.
His words, not ours.
I feel like that's insulting when I refer to him that way.
Yeah, you really shouldn't call him a vet. What?
I mean, also just calling anybody fat for any reason. I feel like maybe we should refer to him as the ugly vet or something. I don't know. Anyway, I was talking to Josh, who, as some people will remember as being part of Morning Laugh. Josh and Chris Wineland both, and I thought they were both dead. To be honest with you,
Well, they're still part, just in memoriam, right?
That's right.
But you're telling me they're not dead. They just never show up.
Look up Josh Novi comedy or whatever. You'll find him. I think he has a couple other podcasts he's doing.
I think he's got 9. I think he's got 9 outside of this particular one. Yeah, 9.
So, what have you done this last week, Brian? That was worthwhile.
I've started insanely working out to the point where I realize now I gotta stop doing it. So I'm just tired all the time.
Yeah,
tired all the time, Mike. So between my classes that I've started, I'm teaching 2 stand-up classes, 1 improv class, plus going to the open mic, recording at the open mics, plus doing whatever shows I have in between all of that nonsense, and then all the other in between third-party shows at the club, and then helping out at the club, and then I have a family too. I've got that I have to deal with, and then all that's been tis the season, Mike, for me to start losing my sanity. So far so good, pretty sane. But yeah, that's just been kind of just go at this point. And yourself, Mike?
Well, I've been working on the software that I've been working on for a while, Gig Tools, and so that's taking up a lot of my time lately. Although that will subside. We're going camping this weekend, tent camping
outside
in a tent. Well, kind of pseudo outside. We'll be outside most of the time. We'll sleep in a tent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my wife and I, we used to do this every year with our daughter and her family. However, last year we missed it. I can't remember what was going on. Just too busy, I guess.
Yeah.
We're getting back to it this weekend, so we're going to be gone for the next few days.
Okay.
And looking forward to that.
Where are you heading exactly? Because
we are going up near Williams. I can't remember the name of the place. It's called White Mountain Lake or something like that. I don't remember the name of it.
So northern Arizona, for those of you that are watching in other states. Yes, we have mountains here.
Yes.
And I'm going to piggyback on that by saying, Mike, it might rain this weekend.
It might. However, the forecast right now looks okay, but I hope it doesn't rain on us. That would stink.
Right. But then again, you and I are friends with Corey McCloskey, Channel 10.
So we control the weather.
Yeah. So put in a word with Corey. He'll make it happen. So.
We used to go. In the past we've gone to more remote camp. This is more like a campground, so it's not going to be quite as. I think there's like even a bathroom there, so it's not really camping in the sense that we're roughing it that much.
Yeah, you're not roughing.
We'll be outside in a tent, but normally when we go, like when I go with my son, we just go to BLM land, Bureau of Land Management, open land in Arizona, and just find a spot in the forest.
Is that the dump?
The dump, yeah. We go to the city dump.
I'm sorry. Continue.
No, that's it. So anyway, as I'm looking forward to it, the nice thing about camping is usually you don't have cell coverage or anything, so you're just forced to just relax and disengage and unplug.
Do like our pioneers.
Kind of, yeah.
Live off the land
with battery operated lanterns.
Yeah.
Just like the pioneers.
Because you're not allowed to take fire with you when you camp anymore.
But here's the thing.
That'd be ridiculous.
Here's the thing, though. We're going to go up there, and we're going to be near Williams, which has that little roller coaster thing you can go down. It's a gravity roller coaster. You go up to the top of the hill and ride this thing down. It's supposed to be pretty cool.
That's new. I think that opened this year, right?
Yeah, this year or last year. I know it's pretty new, right? So I
If I-
don't know if we're going to do that, but that's part of the plan. Because we're going to be within, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes of
Mhm.
the city of Williams. And also, do you know what else is in the city of Williams?
Do I know what?
This is also in the city of Williams, the Puseum.
Are you gonna pick up some?
I don't know. I
Hmm.
really want to go see it, but nobody
Probably
else seems
not
to be
for
interested.
sale. It's probably replicas. The replicas made by the staff.
I don't know. I'm not sure if we can just leave stuff there or if we have to take it with us. I
It's
know
like
normally when you're camping, you have to take everything with you.
it's like the penny dish, you know. Leave one, take one, whatever. Leave a few, take a few. I don't know. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Train station up there in Williams is kind of iconic too. First of
Yeah.
all, it's a train station where you don't see those anymore. I saw when my son was very little, we took him up north because they had Thomas the Tank Engine was there, like a
Oh,
real live big one.
on the rails and everything. Wow,
Yep.
that's interesting.
And then so it's just a bunch of screaming kids, and then they go about a quarter mile, and then get off, and then it's a great experience. But the train was really cool. It looked
Yeah.
just like the real one. It was a real train with a real creepy face on it,
So
moving around.
I've lived in Arizona about 26 or 27 years now, and several times I've made plans with the family to go to the Grand Canyon, which is not that far from us.
No, not really.
I've never made it up there. I've seen the Grand Canyon from an airplane, but I've never been at the Grand Canyon, and I've missed it every time. We've created a family event, ended up having to travel or work or whatever, and I haven't been able to make it up there. But I know one of the times Jenny and the kids caught a train in Williams and took that up to the Grand Canyon, and they got held up. Can you believe it?
What?
Bandits came along on horseback and held up the train.
Uh-huh.
It was quite the deal.
What'd you lose at that point? A lot of cash?
Yeah,
Jewelry?
Jewelry and cash. She came back without her wedding ring. I'm like, what happened? Oh, these bandits.
That'd be a great movie idea of these guys who go to these reenactments, but they actually steal, and then
Yeah.
they're like can't find these guys. They just travel around the country doing train reenactments. Yeah.
So yeah,
I hate to say it, Mike, but that's one of the things that could probably come back.
yeah.
I mean, there's enough people that travel by train still. Why aren't there like techno?
The pirates out in the ocean have come back. They made a
Mhm.
rebound.
Yeah, why not train robbers? Huh. I don't want to say this shows a bad influence on anybody and people are going to get ideas, but
No, I don't. We're not encouraging the robbery.
we are not encouraging. That's an
But we would
official
be interested
statement
to
from the Morning Laugh. By the way, I think everybody will sign off on that one. But well, that's cool. Yeah, it's been several years since I've been to the Grand Canyon. Yeah, North Rim's the one that's a longer journey because you got to drive all the way around the Grand Canyon to get to the other side. They really should build a giant bridge.
You can hike in and back out and be there.
Yeah, 10 miles down, 10 miles back up. My father-in-law, oddly enough, the building I used to have my production business in, there was a guy across the hall from me. He was going to do a Grand Canyon hike, and my father-in-law found out somehow, but they were doing opposite ends of the canyon. And so they literally both left on the same day, hiked down, exchanged car keys, went up the other side, drove each other's vehicles, and then met 7 days later. So that actually worked out really well for all of them. So, but yeah,
I know
North Rim. Very few people go. North Rim's supposed to be like really beautiful too. So
yeah, and I know that's a lot less crowded because
you know who loves the Grand Canyon, by the way?
Who?
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, really?
He loves it. Goes all the time. Helicopters down. He took, I think it was his third or fourth wife. He took her. The first date was he helicopter down to meet the Havasupai people.
So
they're wonderful people. She
So
loved the experience.
So Jenny has hiked Havasupai, but here's the thing: there's different levels of doing this. Some people hike down there and they hire out donkeys to carry all their stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the fake way, or taking a helicopter obviously would be the fake way. So
But I hear that's really scary.
Huh?
I hear it's scary because the donkeys kind of get real close to the edge.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing, but they said it's like.
So Jenny and her friends hiked they brought all their stuff in with them. They said, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it the right way. And they all had their big backpacks, hiked all the way down there, stayed for a couple days, and then hiked all the way back out. But she said, and this is my wife. She hikes quite a bit. She has been around a lot, and she said this was probably one of the hardest, or if not the hardest, hike she's ever done, because it's 10 miles straight up out of there.
Yeah. Well, Mike, it's not the Great Canyon. It's the Grand
That's true.
Canyon. So
which is I think a medium at Starbucks, isn't it?
yeah. But you know what? You just made me think of something. Wasn't Jenny on a grand jury?
She was. She's been to the Grand Canyon and was on the
She's
Grand
had some
Jury.
training for this.
That's right.
I've driven on Grand Avenue, but that's about as hard as it gets for me. You know.
Well, no, you and I were at the Grand Ole Opry one time.
Oh, that's true. That's true. All right, so we've done more grand things. Sometimes your life just passes you by, Mike.
It does. So not complete. Anyway, so what's coming up in the next week for you, Brian?
More of the same that I mentioned earlier in the show.
Extreme working. You said you're going to be extreme work. You're going to cut back on the workout. And I asked you what you're doing next week. You're more of the same. I feel like
Actually, I'm not cutting the workout out. I'm modifying it. I realize is what I'm doing. Let's see what I'm doing. I do have a show. I got a veterans show that I'm doing on Sunday without Josh Novi, and then I have a show the following week. So more of the same, more shows, and yeah. And I saw Beetlejuice last week, so that's crossed off my list.
So scale from 1 to 10. Don't give anything out. I want to see it, but
still processing. Good to see Michael Keaton always in anything. I'd watch him read silently to himself. I think it'd be very interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna give it right now in my head. I'm gonna give it a 7. I thought, without spoiling anything, I thought they could have let Keaton out of the bag a little more. I mean, he's just, I don't know. He's just electric when you see him in anything he does anyway. So I've always been a huge Michael Keaton fan since like way back, like Night Shift. From that on,
yeah,
he's just
his comedy acting was always so great. He went the route of kind of doing more serious stuff for so long. But when I saw, what was it? Was it The Other Guys? Was that the name of the movie he was in?
The Other Guys, yeah. When he was the police chief, and
that was the first time I'd seen him in comedy again. And man, I was just like, oh yeah, he's
last time since Multiplicity. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him on the Dinah Shore show. Anyone? Dinah Shore?
I remember it.
He was on Dinah Shore doing stand-up, and
yeah.
And
then Jack Parr came in, and then
and then of course Paul Williams stopped by, sang a song. It was great. It was a good episode.
And then Paul Lynde.
Oh, Tyler and Lester stopped by too, which was a hoot. But anyway, I remember his bit was about, I love Westerns, watching Westerns. I'm watching Gene Autry the other day. It's great. He's doing his thing. He's on horseback. Then all of a sudden, you see a Jeep in the background. What's that about? It's just Keaton being Keaton. But you got to see, there's a clip of him talking about people walking down the street, talking to themselves. He goes, I love these people because they're like, because he goes, there's a guy off of whatever road. I see him every week. I don't know what the conversation's about, but it's pretty heated, So, but I just love that manic Keaton all the time thing.
Yeah, so, even when he's mimicking people talking, it's still of the big motions and stuff.
My favorite. I was listening to Mark Maron years ago, and he was interviewing Keaton, and he goes, "You watch your movies?" And he goes, "Nah, not really." He goes, once it's done, it's done. He goes, but my kids like to watch the movies every once in a while. He goes, oh yeah? He goes, so they'll watch them? He goes, do you watch it? You don't watch it with them? He goes, nah. He goes, the other day my kids were watching, I can't remember what it was. He goes, and I walked by and I said, how am I doing? He goes, then I just walked by and the kids are like, you're doing great, Dad. All right, cool. So like, I don't know. You see, there was a photo that surfaced. He used to be an intern for Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I knew that.
So there was somebody had posted a picture the other day, a real vintage shot of him with the like the clapboard and everything else on the set. So funny, man. Such a great career. Different career though. Like
He
again,
was,
like from stand up to the comedies to the serious films to just being. I mean, everybody loves him. He lives in Montana. He doesn't care about Hollywood and all that.
a lot of people don't know this, but he used to also be an intern at a mortuary with Henry Winkler.
Yeah. Yes, he did. He did. In fact, he did. It's funny. I was going to tell you. I was just listening to an interview with Henry Winkler. Winkler's an amazing person too. 79 years old, still going strong. Everybody loves the.
Well, he kind of had a resurgence. He was out of the picture for a long time, and he'd do little things here and there, some Happy Gilmore stuff or whatever.
Yeah, but he was saying he couldn't get hired.
Then he became big. What?
He couldn't get hired. Everyone was like, you're the Fonz.
Yeah.
But Sandler's the one who really just loved him to death. And then if you watch, there's several films where you'll see Sandler will mention a celebrity, and then 1 or 2 movies later, that celebrity's in the movie with him. So it's obviously somebody he loves and cares about. On Happy Gilmore, he says, "Oh man, a limousine. Who's in there? Burt Reynolds." And then boom, a few years later, we get Longest Yard.
Yeah.
And then in 50 First Dates, not 50 First Dates. What's the other one? Wedding Singer. He mentioned something like, his buddy's like, "Yeah, I wanted to be cool like the Fonz." Or you can't be like the Fonz your whole life, right? And then a few years later, bam, the Henry Winkler thing is all over because they just love. I know on Waterboy they talked about just at dinner, just sitting around talking to Winkler was the greatest thing.
I remember watching him on Dinah Shore one time, and he mentioned David Spade, and then boom, after that, a bunch of David Spade movies with him.
Yeah, I think Sailor's Dinah Shore wasn't the best episode, but it had its moments. Yeah. She's like, "I understand you like to play basketball." "Yes, I know, Dinah Shore," because he was only like 7. He's like, "Oh." Finally, more Dinah Shore references on the show. Which, by the way, Dinah Shore dated who for a long time? Burt Reynolds.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because
that was not in his memoir.
It was one of those May, December. What do they call those romances? So, or Aunt May, Doc Ock relationships. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that was kind of a thing.
So I was looking up in the news today, and I found Cold War is over.
Oh,
kind of, but not really.
Wait, I have to call somebody.
So without being too political, it's been reignited greatly by the current administration. Anyway, here's what I wanted to say about it: is there is a Russian spy whale. You remember they talked about making using dolphins.
Yeah.
To find subs and all that stuff. Apparently, they trained a beluga whale, and this whale's name is Valdemar.
Sure.
And here's the thing, though, Brian. Hey, Walker, can you bring that picture up for us? There he is.
Yeah.
Thanks,
He
Walker.
looks shifty. His eyes.
Anyway, Valdemar, a beloved whale believed to have escaped a past life as a Russian spy, was found dead in very mysterious circumstances.
So I know you didn't want to be political, and I don't want to go there, but were the Clintons involved?
Well, here's the thing. The last Valdemar was seen was in an interview, and he happened to mention the deep state. And now suddenly, boom, gone.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty unusual. That's mysterious. But yeah, that's the only thing is they said they found he was found dead over the weekend in what animal rights organizations say were unnatural and mysterious circumstances. So I just thought we could conjure up an idea of what that might have been.
Was there a note?
It was a suicide note.
Bottle of whiskey.
They don't think it was valid. They don't. They're
just floating.
It's not his handwriting.
Just floating on the surface.
Yeah.
And there's a little chalk outline of him. Man, I thought you were going to tell me it was some kind of like Hunt for Red October kind of thing where they made a sub look like a whale.
That would be cool.
And then they sent him out that way, and then we'd send Alec Baldwin in to. Anyways, Boy, this show's gone off the rails. I thought we're not talking about that stuff, right? Anyways, let's go back to a simpler time. You remember when Russian spies were just like people that were doppelgangers for Gilligan? You know,
exactly.
with this, with a Swiss Army knife with a spoon.
I just recall Get Smart. So I'm thinking this whale was like hidden in a mailbox somewhere, and they just talked to him through the mailbox.
He opened it up and his head popped out.
Yeah.
Hello, Agent Vladimir. Hello, 86.
Would you believe mammal?
How? Well.
So, without any further data on that, what do you imagine happened to poor Vladimir, the ex-Russian spy?
I think the pressure got to him. I think he ate some bad shrimp.
Could be. That's a simple explanation. Although they said it was very unnatural, mysterious circumstances. They found a hole in his head. That's stupid.
He got Lincolned. What? What is it an unusual circumstance?
I don't know. It doesn't say. That's all I could find on it was
maybe there was a
unnatural and unusual and mysterious. That's what it said. Unnatural.
Straw in the blowhole. No, wait. After they look, they're like, "Is that a Titleist?" I don't know.
Oh well.
Are there CSI Ocean people who are down there like, wow, this looks like somebody's washed up. Of course, I'm smoking because that's what they do under.
Well, since we've kind of got a
David
70s
Caruso, by the way,
a 70s throwback theme to this, I think they should get Barnaby Jones on the case. I'm curious, if you're watching this in the comments, let us know if you know who Barnaby Jones was or is or was.
Yeah,
Dinah Shore.
Remember the episode when Jethro came in? He's like, Barnaby, there's been a murder. Ooh, doggy.
In the cement pond.
Ooh, doggy. We're going to have to find out. Jed, there's cocaine all over the desk. Granny, let me do my job. That's Buddy Epson.
What was the name of the banker's secretary? What was her name?
Miss Hathaway?
Hathaway, that's what it was.
Chief. Nancy Culp.
She had a thing for Jethro, as I recall.
She did. Ooh, doggy. Yeah.
Not in real life. In real life, she had a thing for Ellie Mae, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. You see Ellie Mae toward the end, too? She was like a 70-year-old woman still wearing, pigtails.
Was she still holding on to that persona?
Yeah. But don't we all? I mean, I've had this ridiculous mustache since I was 7.
You're just holding on to that persona.
I know. I'm letting it grow out gray now.
So James Earl Jones died.
Yes. And it's funny. When people think James Earl Jones, everybody has their own thing that they think about James Earl Jones. Most of it's going to be Star Wars, right? That's a given. The first thing that came to my mind was Worldwide Pants.
Oh, is he the voice for that? Okay.
For Letterman, yeah. But that's the first thing that popped in my head was Worldwide Pants because I heard it every night. You know, it's
funny. His voice is what really everybody knows. People recognize him, and he's acted obviously in a lot of stuff, but it's his voice that is so iconic. And I read something where he couldn't speak until he was like 6 or 7 or something.
No, had a really bad stutter problem.
Oh, is that what it was?
Okay. And still stuttered a little bit, but it's one of those things where, when you're performing, you can, turn it on. I mean, not like he wasn't as bad as say Mel Tillis or somebody, another 70s reference. Mel Tillis, country singer, star of Cannonball Run 1.
And I think we're going to rename this podcast from Morning Laugh to Morning Laugh with MOURN.
But
a lot of old references.
But James Earl Jones, what was he? He was old, right? He was
89? 93.
Oh, 93. Okay. Yeah, long career, great career. Yeah. I mean, in many, many, many films, television. Somebody posted, I loved it. It was him on Sesame Street doing the alphabet. A, B, C. I got bored, but well, I'd seen the original. That's how I learned. That's why all little children walk around.
I
Going,
think he was just
"Hey."
doing a cover of the alphabet, wasn't he? You didn't like do
It was a cover. Yeah.
Phil Donahue was 88 and died a few weeks ago.
I'm here with James Earl Jones. James, you're going on. You're doing your thing. You're on TV. You're on movies, and you do all kinds of things. What makes you tick?
I just remember Phil Donahue would always go to the audience, and
we'll be right back right after this.
He'd hold the mic out to audience members for comment, and he'd put his head down and hold the mic out like this. Like
Jane from Poughkeepsie, you're on Phil Donahue. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was the phone.
Ma'am, you understand that you've written a book. You have.
That's it.
And then he married that girl.
He did.
So, Marlo Thomas, as was referenced many times on this show in many years, she was Rachel Green's mother on Friends.
Really?
So this is how I connect with my kids.
I never watched Friends. I didn't know she was on anything after the 80s.
Yeah. She was Rachel's mom, and she was on several episodes. But the funny thing is, that's how I did my daughter. I'm like, Phil Donahue died. And of course she's like, who cares? And I said, Rachel Green's mother's real husband? And she goes, oh. So then we had to have the talk again. Honey, late show hosts die. And so did the shows, which brings me to Jimmy Fallon getting cut to 4 days a week. That is 4 days a week, The Tonight Show, Monday through Thursday. Yeah.
Just because he's so unlikable, or what was the problem?
They found that during the summer schedule, they did something different for Friday nights, and it was working, so they're cutting it back. And I think they're toying with it with the other stations are doing it too.
I heard that part of the reason was medical. He got a hernia from faking laughing so much.
Could be possible.
He hurt his knee from falling out of his chair, laughing so hard.
They got a leg abrasion.
So other deaths. This is our morning show. Bob Newhart.
That was a while ago.
July,
yeah.
Newhart going back this year, this last year.
Newhart in general. So he was in his 90s also.
He was 94.
That's an incredible career too. Talk about a guy who just he wasn't on the path to being a stand-up comedian or anything else. I mean, if you listen to him tell the story about his first album and all that, how it came about, it's the first time he really had done it, went up, did it, killed it. And then he did that album and then his second album, but the second album won a Grammy that year. Do you know that?
I think I saw that because I watched a special on Rickles and Newhart. They were like best buddies their whole lives. I mean, like really, they
traveled the world together.
Yeah, I didn't realize any of that. I knew that they knew each other, obviously, but they were really close their whole careers, and so I did see some of that in that special.
Yeah.
Speaking of Keaton and Mr. Mom, Martin Mull died this last year also.
Yeah, Martin Mull died. Which actually, I just brought that up to my wife the other day that Colonel Mustard and Mrs. Peacock are gone. And Madeline Kahn, which
who is Mrs. Peacock?
Eileen Brennan.
Oh,
remember she was the sergeant in Private Benjamin.
Yeah,
the Goldie Hawn vehicle that went on to be a very successful CBS series. Yeah, we could do a show that's just celebrity deaths.
Richard Simmons, Dr. Ruth. There's been a few more. They had a list of them. Oh, Donald Sutherland.
Yeah.
Willie Mays. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It happens. You say Donald Sutherland, and I have to say, not to jump back to this subject matter again, but I can't think Donald Sutherland without thinking Elliot Gould a lot. And
yeah.
But, Elliot Gould was on Friends as Ross and Rachel's dad, but I've never enjoyed his acting. It's very, well, Rachel, I see you've grown up. monotone.
Even on MASH originally, it was like that to me.
Yeah. I don't know what that acting style is. Over pronunciation. Okay.
It does not feel natural.
Not at all. And then the other day, Ocean's 11 was on, and it was the Elliot Gould scene. He's got on his gold, and he's got the bathrobe on. He's got no shirt on, and it was a little bit better, not much, but a little more relaxed.
And just to clarify, everybody, Elliot Gould is not dead.
No, this is not any kind of breaking news.
This was just a link to Donald Sutherland.
And if anything happens to Elliot Gould, it's complete coincidence. No. What was I saying? I was on an Elliot Gould tear. Elliot Gould married to, at one point,
Marlo Thomas.
Barbara Streisand.
Really?
Yeah, they had a kid together.
Did not know that either. Barbara Streisand had a great voice, but I always thought she was just overrated on everything.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just leave it there.
Yeah, all right.
She'll attack us.
So, staying out of politics, Joe Lieberman also died. Joe Lieberman was one of my favorite politicians of all time. He was just one of those guys early on that went against the grain of his party to just, hey, this is the reality. Stop being so partisan.
Well, you recall when Arizona Senator John McCain was running for president, there was chatter that he was going to take Lieberman, and everyone was like, "You can't do that." It's like, well, why not? That would be super interesting. Yeah, that would have been great.
Great. He was much more independent than partisan.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, with politicians too, they're politicians, celebrities, whatever, and some of them cross over. They disappear, they fade off. You know, I even have that one joke, about what do? We put them in the doctor's offices,
right?
Let them give our diagnosis. I'm not doing a bit, by the way. This whole thing wasn't set up for me to do a bit, But
so,
but it would go something like this. No. Dude, you got Crohn's disease.
So this is another thing, and again, back to the deaths of the year, but just because they're comedians and we know comedy. Eddie Murphy died last week. No, that's not true.
No, we're recording for future episodes.
Yeah, I was just in case that happens. Richard Lewis, we lost this year.
Richard Lewis was and I don't know if you watched the final season of Curb, but it was great that he was in it, but you could really see over the episodes his health failing, which is always rough to watch.
I'll be honest, when I first saw him on Curb years ago, I thought, whew, he does not look good. Like age really. I
read the post from Mike. He says, I don't like it.
He was only 76 when he died. So when Curb's been on for what?
Ever?
10 more years, 15 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember, so he was in his 60s, at least early 60s, and when I first saw him on Curb, but that's the first time I'd seen him since probably the stuff he recorded in the 80s, and boy, he really aged. Of course, people look at me now too and go, "Man, I saw Mike James 10 years ago. Man, is he aged?"
It happens.
It does.
Unfortunately, I will say let's talk about age for a minute, Mike. It's one of those things where, like, this year I've been dealing with it more than I've ever dealt before, because for some reason the younger generation just insists on telling you you're old all the time, and I don't get it.
Well, you because you not only perform at the clubs like me and are out in comedy, you also work at a club where you have constant influx of young comedians coming through, and comedians typically or often don't hold back their thoughts. I too, though, have noticed that you're getting older.
That's the show. Good night. Well, actually, it's, for me, it's staff.
Oh, really?
I won't name names, but some of them, like, just really want to come after me about the age thing. And, like, one particular person is always asking me dumb questions. What's it like to be old? I'm like, what's it like to be young and stupid? I mean, why do you do that? And then this was my favorite thing. Oh, my back's killing me. I said, and how old are you again? 27. Yeah, my back's fine.
Yeah.
You could, you could wish that you're in as good a shape as I am when you're my age. So, good luck.
And
I'll be
again, I know
dead.
you don't want to mention any names, and I don't know, but I feel like they must feel pretty lucky to be able to talk to you that way. And
No, not as lucky as you would think. So, no. Yeah. But I feel good. How do you feel, Mike? You've been taking the right steps to make yourself
yeah,
feel better and
I'm
younger.
feeling pretty good. Actually, it's funny you mentioned this. I've been working out more recently, and which is going well. However, this morning I woke up in the middle of the night, and my right bicep is like just aching, and I thought, oh, I'm sleeping on my arm funny, like it was stretched out funny or something, but it's still hurting right now. So I don't know. I'm feeling my age. I can feel
I
it.
find it interesting though.
Thing-
A
Things
lot of
don't hurt
comics.
like they used to, but because I changed
Yeah,
my diet and stuff, but I still feel weak in areas and things. But yeah,
yeah. Well,
sorry.
things are going to happen. Usually, when you sleep, that's when your body likes to fight against you.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, like, I find it interesting that a lot of comics sleep funny.
I used to joke that I woke up feeling sore, and my wife said, well, maybe you slept wrong. Oh, sure. I did something wrong. It's always
Okay.
me doing something wrong.
Okay, my bad. Show me how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, uh, and we've gone from death to just talking about old man pains. So, I know what's
Any
happening.
more age material? So you have a couple shows coming up. You want to tell people about them?
Yeah, at the Veterans Home.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was already told that they're not big laughers. They like to smile and show their appreciation in other ways. I don't know what that means. So maybe it's an old woman stuffing $1 down my pants. I don't know what to expect at this point. I doubt that's what the scenario is going to be. But yeah, so I think it's probably going to be. And here's the thing: they already told me there's going to be probably a lot of people from vets from the Korean War, and maybe even a few from the. I can't imagine World War II. I mean, they're going to be super
pretty
old.
old.
If they are, they're very old, and that's just what they want is a Japanese comedian coming in. So it's going to be great.
They'd have to be in their late 90s at the youngest.
Yeah,
from World War II.
Yeah, and I seriously doubt that's going to be the scenario. So thank goodness I'm not Korean. So yeah, so that'll be interesting, and then I'm not going to say anymore.
All right.
We'll talk after
Sure.
the show.
I don't have much going on this month. I don't have anything really till next month. But again, you can go to briankohatsu.com to get his schedule, MikeJamesComedy.com to get my schedule. If you're interested in coming out to any shows, I encourage you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think that's it for us this morning, Brian.
I think we covered a lot of dark material.
More than we needed to. And hey, tune in next week. I don't know what day, because Brian's bringing a special guest. I don't know who it is.
Sid Charisse. Oops, sorry.
It's Mike Douglas.
Which was Michael Keaton's real name. You
Was
brought
it
it all around.
Wow.
Because
Perfect.
I was going to say, not only did we talk about dark, morbid stuff the whole time, the only bright side we talked about was Beetlejuice, which is a story about a dead guy. And there you go. It's all encompassed. It wrote itself, is what I'm saying.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching or listening or observing or whatever you did. We'll see you again maybe next week. Bye.
All right.